Hi everyone, it's Karen. I'm back to share my design team project for AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy. And I will put links to her wonderful shop on Etsy and all the designers she has designing for her that are making just beautiful projects with the products from her store. And so that you can go over and check out those videos and hopefully you'll find some inspiration, and then you can go shopping and get yourself some goodies. So it's fall and I really have been looking forward to doing this accordion style journal, and I've done it sort of in the fall colors. Use digital papers throughout, and what you're seeing on the front, I just used this as I showed in my design team package. There was this ribbon trim. To me, it's just like a ribbon, and it's so pretty, and I just thought it was so perfect to tie a journal shut. And although this style doesn't really need to be tied shut because it lays quite flat, and I'll show you that, I just decided that it still was going on this journal. And just on a ball pin, Kim also carries ball pins in her shop. I just have one of my little tatted flowers and a couple of charms. And these charms are from my stash, but Kim does have charms in her shop, but they do sell out, I find, very quickly. You have to jump on that kind of thing quickly. I've done 4 tatted butterflies on the front of here. This little dragonfly is from a trim that I bought from her shop a long time ago, I think over a year ago, and I'm hoarding it and just cutting out the dragonflies and using them. I used a spray on this one because the trim is actually white, so I sprayed it and made it this sort of, I don't know, beigey color with a bit of sparkle in it. It was a metallic spray of some kind. This trim here on the side is from Kim's shop. This was in my design team package for November, and it's really pretty little trim. I just love how it looks on the edge of here. And then this is just a border of tatting that I've done on this side, and then I've actually used embroidery stitches, cross stitches, and French knots to attach it to this beautiful tulle trim that she has in her shop. And her trims are just so versatile. You know, if you love to do crocheting or tatting, and you can attach them onto the edges of the trims and they look so pretty. And then I did a little tatted flower in the corner with one of her pretty blings. She has several blings in her shop. This is actually, I think, an older one. She has some even prettier ones than this in the shop now too, but I still really like this sort of traditional one that she has had and I had in my stash still. This is on a bulb pin that just slides. This I just did in a knot on here. And we'll open her up and have a look inside. Again, she is an accordion style, which means that the pages go back and forth and that it's double-sided. So you flip through one side, and then when you get to the back, you flip her over and you flip through the other side. Each one of these pages is also a pocket in the top, and in each one of these pockets I have put in 1 or 2 different digital download pages that can be journaled on or can be taken out and just used to write lists on or whatever you wanted to do. And then from the side, this is what she looks like. She has the accordion, different accordion levels that you can see, and that happens on both sides. And then on the bottom, I put quite a few dangles on her and did some fabric ones too. And then I've got the little pumpkins that I had from last month's design team package. I had a couple left, so those are on there. And just some charms from my stash that I had. So we can see those as we go through. Let's start with flipping through the first page. The first 2 pages, there they are there. And what I did with the digital downloads is I also used some fall napkins and rice paper that I had in my stash to also collage onto the digital papers. So this is actually a piece of rice paper with the bird on it. The digital download paper is in behind. And Each one of the pages is held together with some fabric that I have glued, and it's on both sides. You'll see as I go through, and I just frayed the edges a bit, and I used a fabric that sort of had similar colors in it to the digital download paper, which you can see here. And I've accented it with some butterflies that I've added in as well, that I have fussy cut out, and they are digital downloads as well. I've made tags for some of the pockets that I've created on the pages. This pocket is created with a napkin, beautiful dahlia napkin in beautiful fall colors. This is a piece of trim from Kim's shop that was in my design team package. This is a really pretty trim, lovely color, and I love the design on it. And I also, you'll see it chopped up in here as well. I created a little pocket in the corner here, added a little dangle charm on here, a little orange heart and a little piece of bling. And the little pocket is created from a piece of trim I had in my stash. Added some beads to it, and then it creates this little pocket for these two little tags that fit in here. And then these tags fit in the bigger pocket. And this tag has a piece of trim from Kim's shop. This is just a piece off of a much bigger trim. And so is this one a piece off of one of her trims, and this was from her bunny trim that she had in her shop for the longest time. I know it's all sold out now, but I still have a little bit left, and so I did one of the little bunnies on here and some embroidery stitches to go with it. And then this little tag goes in here too. And on this side is a clear pocket that I put in so that when you take the tag out, you can see the pretty papers in behind. This is a piece of lace from Kim's shop. This was in a previous design team project, but I really like that lace too. And then there's another one of her little dragonflies. There they are in the true color, the white that originally came in. There it's compared with the more goldy, creamy color that I dyed that one, and it dyed very easily with the sprays that I had. Pocket here that goes into, and I think it's cool that you can see through the pocket and see what's on the tag. I did some stitching, hand stitching around this tag with some embroidery floss as well, just to give it another accent. This is one of the little flowers from the flower trim that I had in my design team package. I dyed them with some sprays that I had, and then I did a little bit of embroidery stitching on them as well. And I've got a few of those in here as well. Here's the next two pages. This is a belly band I created with some napkin collage. Behind all the napkin collage is the music paper. To use the music paper behind the napkins because you can see through it at times, and so it's just a pretty accent to when you're doing napkin collage. So I did use some of the music paper that was in my design team package. You can see the fabric on the edge here, and then I used, this is a little bit of the edge of the trim from the dragonfly trim from her shop. Here is a tag that I've created, and you can see that trim that was on the previous page that I said. I used it as a tab for the top of this tag, and then I cut two of the little flowers out and used them separately at the bottom of that tag. This is just some little bit of stitching I did here and the bottom here on this tab, and I did some beads on a pin and a little charm. And then I just have a little corner tuck here, and I just tucked in some of my fussy cut butterflies that I've used throughout the journal in case the person wants to add more in, or they can use them in another project. And then this is the center of one of Kim's flowers from her shop, and I just added in some colored little gems as well. This page has some tatting done down the side here, a little crocheted flower in the corner, a little crocheted, and there's one here, or these are tatted butterflies hanging off. These are the little daisies that were in my last month's design team project from Angel Dream Crafts, and I dyed them with the sprays, and they dyed very nicely as well. And I added them as little accents on the side of this another little clear pocket that you can see through to the papers below. Here's that lovely trim again that was on the front cover. And then here's a little tag, and on the tag I've used that nasturtium which I've also done here to do a little bit of napkin work on top of the digital papers and on top of this collaged tag. And again, a piece of that trim from her shop to use as the tab. Next 2 pages, again, digital papers, the fabric down the center, creating the hinge on each of the pages. This purpley floral trim, again, from her, in my stash from her shop, I think a few months ago, and I still have a few pieces left. So I used it here as the trim on this page. Added a few little blings in the napkin work that I did on this digital page. This is a napkin that I put on that music paper. You can see the music paper shows through in the little bird. And then I used this to make a tuck on the side, and I just tucked in a couple of little fussy cut roses. These are digital download that I have just fussy cut out, and I tucked those in there. I thought, well, it shows you it's a tuck, and also that you can take those out and use them somewhere else. I'll just show you here how the pages, each of the pages, as I said, is a pocket, and in the pockets I have put this is a digital download paper that and it comes with lines, and some come without lines. It has these pretty burgundy flowers in the corner, so really nice for writing on. And then I also, in some of the little pockets, I've included this digital download, which is also really pretty. There's different florals on on the different pages. It could be used in collaging, ripped up. It could be used written on the back. And so those, I won't put them back in right now, but those are tucked in these little pockets that are created. And if you take these pages all out, you'd have the space in these pockets. There's a good amount of room in them to tuck little things in. If paper that you like to save could go in an album like this. Just some butterflies up the side of this page. I've sort of left them kind of all a little bit loose on the page, so there's some dimension there. Another little, a little heart that I created and added in some trims and laces around. And I believe these are all from my stash. And then I did a little, just a little journal card tucks in there. There's one of the little pumpkins hanging off the edge of here. There's another one on this side with a bulb pin. And again, Kim does have the bulb pins in her shop. And there's another little pumpkin hanging from there. There's that beautiful trim again on the side. Such a pretty trim. Beautiful detail on it. Nice texture to it. And then the back page has that tulle gathered trim again. And this time I did about 4 or 5 embroidery stitches all the way up and down with French knots and cross stitch and what else have I used there? Just some straight stitches, some stem stitches, and then I put a wove a gold thread. Ugh, I wove a gold thread in there as well. So that was all done right on the edge of the tulle trim from Kim's shop, and then added to the journal. I really like doing that. It's fun to use the trims themselves to add your stitching to. Again, another one of those cute little pockets created with the bird napkins with the cute little head pieces on them. And this one again, a couple of fussy cut roses tucked in behind there. Here I have one of her flowers again from the flower trim, and this time I've put it on the edge so it goes from one page to the other, and I've put a tatted flower in the middle of each of them. And there's one of the little birds charms that she's had in her shop. I'm not sure she still has them, but they're really pretty too. So that's the back, and then you just start flipping again and you go through the next pages, the back pages of your previous, and that's how the accordion style works. So it's very cool. So on this page I have some beautiful napkin work. I love this owl napkin with the little, they've got little pieces in their head and on their ears. And again, the music paper from Kim's shop is in behind that napkin onto so that it makes the napkin firmer. It's easier to work with. It creates a nice pocket here. I have tucked a little sort of like a double journal card in there, and I just put a little bit of fabric on the bottom and did a few stitches, some embroidery stitches and some gold trim on the bottom of there, and that sticks out of the bottom from below the owls. And then this little pocket was created with half that flower and some cheesecloth, and I put a pin on there with some beads and a little bird charm, and then just a couple of little tags. These are just little fun little things, interactive more than anything, just fun to find and just to look at. I mean, there's definitely room on the back of them if you wanted to journal on them as well, if that was what you wanted to do, and otherwise they're just something else tucked in here and there to find. On this page, I used a full piece of that trim that you've been seeing throughout the journal here to create a side tuck. And then I also created a pocket here with some napkin work, again on the music paper. And this time I can see the music paper, it's actually upside down. But hey, it's not a big deal, but I just noticed now that I did it upside down. This is a little bird that I also from a napkin that I put on there. And then there's a butterfly. There's a little collage piece with some lace and some French knots, and then a little tatted flower and a little pin with some beads again, and a little bee charm on here. There's a couple of the single tatted flowers just on the center on this piece here, and I just left the tails of them hanging down. I thought it looked quite pretty. And on this side, I just added in a piece of cotton fabric that I frayed out the edges, and I did some pistol stitches and some straight stitches on there to create some interest. And you can see the back side of this little dangle piece here, and I put a tatted butterfly and a little acrylic flower on there. I did add some words throughout. There's friend and kind on these two tags, and this little collage thing says favorite. This is a little booklet I created, again with one of the napkins, the bird napkins. This one I can see was put on book page because I can read the words through this is one of Kim's flowers from her flower trim, and again I sprayed it with the sparkle spray. I can't remember the color. It kind of a goldy color. I did add some little flat back gems in the center, and I added a few little beads dangling from the string. I did stitch it on the machine and just put a few scrappy little pages in there so that it could be taken out and used somewhere else, or you could leave it in here and use it as you want. This is the digital paper here. This is some napkin work that I did with, again, one of those beautiful fall, I think that's a chrysanthemum. The next two pages, digital paper again in the background. These are little birds from a napkin that are again glued onto the music paper from Kim's shop, and then I apply them onto the page. I didn't use them as tucks or anything, I just did them as accents. Here's some of the nasturtium again that's been put on here. This is napkin work. It's one of my little tatted butterflies. And then down in the corner here, I made a little pocket out of some lace and some metal and little acrylic flowers. Kim has the acrylic flowers in her shop. These ones I believe are from my stash, and then I added some beads. She has some metal pieces in her shop too, and they make nice accents on things like any kind of collage work you're doing or any mixed media. And the tags have some fiber trim in them, and then Inspire and Hope are on those two tags. And then this side again is another clear pocket. I made this tag and did a little bird on there. Again, this is part of a napkin, glued onto the music paper and then glued onto the tag and put in here, and it's so cute because it shows through that clear tag. But I also made it a tuck spot, so the clear pocket, and then there's a solid pocket in the background with the pretty flower on it, and then there's a tag, and I've done some stitching on that tag. And on the tab on this one, I used some of that cotton fabric, and I did some cross stitching on there in some accent colors. And the bottom of the little pocket here, this is an edging from a trim Kim had in her shop, and it went along with this trim here that you see in the center of this one. And I just cut this piece out of the center and used it here, and the edging I used here on the bottom of the pocket and just added another little charm. This is some ribbon I had in my stash, and I just did a little bit of a pleat trim on it with some gold stitching through the center, and then I added a pin. Kim had these little black safety pins in her shop. I'm not sure she has them anymore, or she's getting more in, and they're really nice to add to your journals. And on this one I added a little beaded drop and a little dragonfly. This is just some work I did with some string I had, and then 3 of the little clay flowers. Just again, texture, things to feel, things to explore, touching, all part of the how I like to create a journal. And then this is back to the front again. Like I said, it lays really flat. It holds a lot with all these pockets. So 12 pages with 6 pockets. And that is my design team project, the first one for November. And I hope you'll go over to the store and have a look at all the beautiful things that she has. She's always getting new stuff in. So if you want to know when the new things go in the store, check us out on Instagram, and I will leave the link to that in the description box below. And also join her Facebook group, because she does announce in her Facebook group when she's put new things in the store. And we also do that on Instagram, so that you get a heads up. You can get a jump on getting some of the things that sell out really fast. And I hope that you enjoyed this project and that you found some inspiration here. And if anyone's interested in purchasing this journal, I will be selling this one if anyone is interested in buying it. And you can contact me via my email below. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye for now.